Children, in continuation to the previous video, now we will study about the basic structure of a cell. Basic structure of a cell आपने 8th standard में भी पढ़ा हुआ है. It consists of 3 parts, that is nucleus, cytoplasm and plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is also called as cell membrane. It forms the outer protective covering of the cell, followed by cytoplasm, which lies inside the plasma membrane and contains a number of highly organized cell organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, etc. All these features make a cell efficient enough to interact with outer environment and carry out different activities. Next to the cytoplasm is nucleus, which is present inside the cell. Children, in your 8th standard, I am sure आप सब ने अनियन पील वाला एक्सपेरिमेंट किया हुआ है. उसमें आपने देखा था, डिड यू ऑल ऑब्जर्व द अनियन पील एंड वर यू एबल टू सी द सेल्स? उसमें आई बिलीव आपने सिर्फ सेल वॉल काइंड ऑफ थिंग देखी होगी और अ वेरी लाइट न्यूक्लियस वुड बी सीन, राइट? अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यू वुड नॉट बी एबल टू सी द detailed structure of the cell. That's because the microscope that has been used is not very powerful. In order to study the detailed structure of the cell, electron microscope is used. So now we will go ahead and study the basic structure of a cell in detail. We will start with nucleus and cytoplasm. The nucleus and cytoplasm are altogether called as protoplasm. If we are referring to the protoplasm, in that case we are talking about both cytoplasm and nucleus together. So we will go ahead and study about the nucleus first, followed by cytoplasm. So who discovered nucleus, children? In the previous video I have mentioned that Robert Brown was the scientist who discovered nucleus, right? So nucleus is present in all eukaryotic cells, and in prokaryotic cells a well-defined nucleus, is it present? No, it's not present. So the nuclear region in prokaryotes is called as nucleoid, which contains the folded circular DNA molecules scattered in the cytoplasm. Talking about the structure of the nucleus, can you all see the diagram of the nucleus here on the screen? The nucleus is usually spherical in shape, spherical or oval in shape. It occupies a central position in the cells, but a plant cell can be an exception where the nucleus lies on the side because the central position is occupied by the vacuole. The nucleus is surrounded by a double membrane or a double protected layer, which together constitutes the nuclear envelope, or it is also called as nuclear membrane. It separates the nucleus from the surrounding cytoplasm. Now on the nuclear membrane there are several tiny pores present, which are known as nuclear pores, and they are present on the nuclear envelope. They allow the transport of materials between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. In the nucleus, there is a colorless, dense fluid enclosed by the nuclear envelope, which is known as nuclear sap or nucleoplasm. So the dense fluid inside the nucleus is called as nucleoplasm. It helps to keep the shape and structure of the nucleus. Then followed by the two major part of the nucleus. If you see the red portion called as chromatin and the blue portion called as nucleolus. These are the two very important part of the nucleus. We will study in detail about the chromatin and nucleolus. Let us start with the nucleolus. Can you see the nucleolus? The blue colored body here is the nucleolus. What is the shape of this body? It is spherical in shape. And children, it could be more than one in number in the nucleus. It basically contains RNA molecules. RNA is ribonucleic acid. So a nucleolus consists of RNAs and proteins that help to synthesize ribosomes. Now ribosomes are very important cell organelles present in the cell because they help in the protein synthesis. So nucleolus with the help of RNA molecules synthesize ribosomes. So for this reason nucleolus is also called as the factory of ribosomes. Ribosomes play a very important role in protein synthesis. So definitely nucleolus is very important in the nucleus. Moving on to the chromatin, that's the red thread-like structure you can see here. Chromatin material is a tangled mass of thread-like material inside the nucleus, and it is basically made up of DNA, that is the genetic material, deoxyribonucleic acid and histone proteins. And this chromatin is made up of repetitive subunits called as nucleosomes, and these nucleosomes are nothing but a DNA molecule wrapped around the histone protein. I'll show you the diagram of nucleosome here. Can you see here? This is actually the chromatin material in which the DNA molecule, the blue thread-like structure is the DNA, that's the genetic material, which is wrapped around a histone protein. Now this repetitive units of DNA with the histone protein are called as nucleosomes. Alright. So DNA is the storehouse of genetic information. It helps a cell to carry out its metabolic functions and is responsible for the replication of the cell and passing on the genetic material to the next generation of the cells. So when a cell starts dividing, the tangled mass of the chromatin material condensed and forms long thread-like structures, long thread-like, and they are rod-like structures which are called as chromosomes. So chromatin material, when the cell starts dividing, before the cell division the chromatin material gets condensed and form rod-like structures called as chromosomes. So chromosomes are made up of chromatin. So what will be the composition of chromosomes? They will be made up of stretches of DNA and proteins. So these stretches of DNA carry information necessary for protein synthesis and are known as genes. Genes are the functional units of DNA and are passed from one generation to the other. Thus, for this reason, gene is called as the genetic unit or the hereditary unit, and DNA is called as the hereditary material. Now let us go ahead and study the structure of the chromosomes. On the screen, can you see the chromosomes here? The chromosomes are rod-shaped or thread-like structures. They are usually present in the nucleus and become visible when the cell division starts. So each chromosome contains DNA and protein, as we all know, and they have two arms which are called as chromatids. If you see here, this one is showing the two arms, and these arms are either called as chromosome arm or chromatids. These two arms are joined at a narrow central area. This is called as primary constriction or centromere. This gives a distinct shape to the chromosome. The terminal region of the chromosome is called as the telomere. So before a cell divides, the chromosome duplicates itself. Here you can see the duplicated chromosome. Both the copies of chromosomes are known as cystochromatids. So here we can see the cystochromatids. They remain attached to the common centromere. These cystochromatids consist of similar genes in them. As they are duplicated, so they have same genes present in them. At the time of cell division, both the cystochromatids separate and each of them become an independent daughter chromosomes. Due to the separation of sister chromatids, each daughter cell contains its own genetic material. So this is how the structure of the chromosome looks. Now moving on to our next topic, children, that is diploid and haploid number of chromosomes. Do we have any idea about haploid and diploid chromosomes? We all must be knowing that the number of chromosomes is definite in each species of the eukaryotic cells. For example, we can take human being as the example. How many number of chromosomes are present in human beings? That is 23 pairs of chromosomes, or 46 number of chromosomes are present in human beings. Our dog has 39 pairs of chromosomes, so it could be 78 in number, right? So there is always a pair of chromosomes of each kind. The pair condition of chromosomes is called as diploid. You can see here in this diagram, the paired chromosomes are called as diploid, and the cell consisting of this diploid chromosomes is called as diploid cell. Whereas a set consisting of unpaired chromosomes of each kind is called as haploid, and a cell consisting of half the number of chromosomes is called as haploid cell. Children, as I gave you the example of human beings, each body cell contains 46 chromosomes, that is 23 pairs. So the gametes in human beings, that is sperm and ovum, are haploid. 23 chromosomes are present in the sperm and 23 chromosomes are present in the ovum. They fuse together, that's how we get the 46 chromosomes. So 22 of these pair of chromosomes are called as autosomes, which are responsible for the different characteristics of the individual. The 23rd pair, the one pair that is left, is called as the sex chromosomes and is responsible to identify as an individual as male or female. Female have 2 copies of the X chromosome, whereas males have 1 X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome. The number of chromosomes in the cells of some organisms vary. Like as I mentioned, for the dogs it is 39, and in cats in case of frog it is 13 pairs, which is 26 in number. So the number of chromosomes vary in the living organisms. Now some of the functions of the nucleus. The nucleus is considered as a controlling center of the cell. Without the nucleus, a cell can neither survive nor perform specialized functions. Nucleus is the storehouse of genes and helps in transmitting genetic information from one parent to their offsprings. Nucleus controls the production of enzymes essential for the metabolic reactions. Enzymes are the proteins which help in the metabolic reaction. So, as nucleolus is the part of the nucleus, it helps in the production of those proteins and help to control the metabolic reactions. So, these are the different functions of the nucleus. Now, moving on to the next topic that we have, which is cytoplasm. Now, children, cytoplasm is present in the cells of all living organisms, whether it is eukaryotic or prokaryotic. It is a colorless, partly transparent and a semi-fluid substance. It fills the space between the plasma membrane and the nucleus. When we talk about the structure of cytoplasm, cytoplasm is made up of basically 3 structures. That is cytoplasm matrix or cytosol, secondly cell organelles, and third cell inclusions. Cytoplasmic matrix or cytosol is a jelly-like semi-fluid substance. Cell organelles are cellular structures that have distinct shape. Like example of cell organelles, as I gave you earlier are endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, ribosomes, Lysosomes are some of the examples of cell organelles. Then under the cell inclusion, the cytoplasm contains various inorganic molecules such as water, sodium and potassium salts, and also organic materials like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids. So a number of cell organelles float in the cytosol part of the cytoplasm. Functions of the cytoplasm: it helps in the movement of genetic material and products of the cellular respiration within the cell. So, the cytoplasm helps in the intracellular within the cell distribution of the different molecules, enzymes and nutrients. Secondly, it helps to fill out the cell and keep organelles in their place. So, it helps the organelles to remain embedded in the cytoplasm. It gives the cells its shape. Cytoplasm provides shapes to the cell, and it also helps to dissolve waste products. In addition to these functions, cytoplasm also helps the exchange of materials between different cell organelles, and it is the site of various metabolic activities like glycolysis, which is basically the breaking down of glucose. All these small activities happen within a cell, within the cell in the cytoplasm. So these are the important functions of the cytoplasm. Children, in today's module, we have two videos to watch. In the first video, we have basic introduction about the cell, where we have defined the cell. We have studied about the discovery of the cell, cell theory, then unicellular organism and multicellular organism. We have studied upon the shape, size and number of cells. Also important part is prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. In the second video, we have studied about the nucleus and cytoplasm, which are the two parts of the basic structure of the cell, along with the plasma membrane that we will continue in the next videos. So if you have any doubts, you can definitely refer to me on WhatsApp, and please go through your textbook, read through your textbook, practice the diagrams that you see of a plant cell or animal cell. Hope you all stay healthy and happy. Thank you.